Hi, Thyme here, and today I've got a special haul, and this is the first of kind of a bunch of hauls I'm going to have as I get back into the swing of things here. But this was actually a big box and a special package that arrived from an online friend, and I actually realized just as I was about to sit down to start this that I hadn't asked her permission to, tell her, use her name on here, so I'm not going to mention it right now, but she's somebody that I know from making videos and on Twitter and all of that stuff. So I'm going to show you. She was kind of editing her own movies and collection, and very kindly offered to send me a bunch of the ones she was getting rid of. So I'm going to show you those right now, because the box is an absolute treasure trove. Ugh, words harder to say today than it should be. An absolute treasure trove of gems. So, and I'm really excited to have got it and to be, getting down to watching all of them. So, I got a bunch of them to start with on my lap, but there's more than what would fit in my lap. So I'm just going to start going and not take too long, but, get going. So the first one here is Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. I haven't seen this one for years. Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn, Katherine Houghton. That's, gosh, the names there today, and Sidney Poitier. Anyway, that's the first one here, and I don't actually know where I'm going to put these because I'm not in my normal spot. Okay, so the second one here is Shirley Temple's Young People. This is one of the later ones she made as a child. 42nd Street, which is a classic musical, and a little bit, I think it's probably pre-code, so it had a bit of some racy bits in it. I know that these old ones with the kind of Bugsby Berkeley numbers, and these Dick Powell, Ruby Keeler ones always have some, kind of snazzier numbers. Like the dancing is often, impeccable in them, but also just some stuff that's kind of trippy and a bit avant-garde sometimes, I'd say. Here is the front page, which is another older one from the 30s, I think, and Adolphe Menjou and Edward Everett Horton and all those kind of people. I don't think I've seen that one before. And here is Carousel. It's been absolutely years since I saw this one. I've been wanting to give the Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals another go. I never really got into them with the exception of Sound of Music, but I know that they seem like they should be more, up my street than what I feel like I get out of them. So I want to, but it really has probably been high school since I watched a lot of, those ones, just because I figured they weren't my thing, so I didn't watch them again. This here is the old 30s King Kong, and that one I used to really like whenever it came on. And here's the Little Colonel. Oh, and I showed you Young People already. I must have put that at the bottom of the stack. And here is George Stevens' The Greatest Story Ever Told. Not sure. Oh, it's 1965. It says right on the back. I wasn't sure what year it was there for a second. Black Narcissus. I'm really excited about this one. I have seen it before. It's an absolutely beautiful movie by Michael Powell and I think Emmerich Pressburger. They did most of them together, but I think this is one that they did. This is also my first Criterion. I'd never had a Criterion before, so I've had them out from the library. I've just never, had my own. So that's kind of exciting, especially since it's by one of my favorite filmmakers. Powell and Pressburger's work is really worth, looking up if you haven't seen it. My probably personal favorite is I Know Where I'm Going, but they're all worth watching. The next one is Shirley Temple's Dimples. I should have really had these in better order, but I just, pulling them out of the box. The Seventh Seal, which is Ingmar Bergman, and I cannot speak today, so you'll have to excuse me. And this is another Criterion, so I don't think I've ever seen this one before. Again, I don't think they used to show the Ingmar Bergman movies on TV very often, so that on the channels we got, like a lot of the movies I watched as a kid were on, you know, TVO and PBS, but the old movies. But I don't think that Ingmar Bergman got shown very often. I could be wrong, like maybe that was just always nights I ended up watching something else, but I don't remember it. And To Kill a Mockingbird here is another one, and I didn't have a copy of this, and I like the movie, I like the book. I got introduced to it in high school, grade 9, I think, and yeah, I knew the movie before, but that was when I read the book, and it made me appreciate the movie all the more. Here is Cool Hand Luke, starring Paul Newman. This is another one I don't really remember. I know I've seen it, but I don't really remember it all that well, so some of them really are just dependent on what was around and aired all the time when I was a kid. So, you know, that's, and like all through school, so that's part of it. And for this next batch here that I've pulled out, we have this one here, which is All Creatures Great and Small. This is just one of the series. I know they did a lot of series, but this is just one of the like seasons, so I think there's about 10 episodes on it. It's a kind of charming British, you know, show, kind of drama about a vet. Again, that one my parents watched when I was younger, but it had never, I think when it was on, it was just that bit out of the range of what I was kind of interested in watching. I've seen it along the way and liked it fine enough, but I think it probably was just, you know, there's always other things to do, so I didn't end up watching that one tons. This is Under the Tuscan Sun, which this is one that I really enjoyed. I took it out from the library years ago and really, really liked it, but had just never picked it up. And I don't remember like a terrible amount. The scenery was beautiful in it. I remember that much. And I did remember really liking it, but just somehow the plot hasn't stuck with me quite as much. Amistad, which was, I think, done when I was in high school, but I'm not sure if it was a couple of them I know that in high school that I thought were new had actually been re-releases, but I think this was a new one, because if I'm not mistaken, Matthew McConaughey's in this, and that would mark it more firmly in my high school years. This was one I actually have. I remember being in the theater watching it and making notes of quotes while we were in the theater, like in the dark, trying to grab receipts in my purse to write quotes down. Yeah, and then coming home and like the words are all written on top of each other because it was pitch black. But yeah, a lot of really really stuck with me. It really hit me, that one. And here's another one from my you know, youth, and that was very popular and that I had on VHS, but didn't have on DVD, and actually have had it sitting in my like kind of shopping cart online for a while because I was just like, I really want to see it again, but then I was like, I don't know right now, like there's been, you know, a lot of other expenses this year with medical stuff, so DVDs and movies in general and all that stuff just haven't been as much of a priority. Like, I still bought a fair bit, but I haven't, it hasn't been the priority this year. I also, as you can, you know, see, I have quite a bit, so I'm not suffering that way, but I'd really been kind of glad to get that one because I'd been thinking a lot about that one lately. And then here is Armageddon. So that one is, again, I haven't probably seen this one since high school, and yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing that again. I think I saw that one in theaters when it first came out. And here is Almost Famous, which is a Cameron Crowe movie and has many, many familiar faces in it. I'm sure that many people have seen it, but it's a, you know, very much, I feel like more of the moment when it was made than of the moment it's portraying. It's both, but I really feel like it does, you know, was speaking to something there at the end of the 90s or into the 2000s there as well. And yeah, so that's, I'm looking forward to watching that one again. That was another one I had on VHS and never got, you know, upgraded or anything. So here is the Santa Claus. This is the Dudley Moore, John Lithgow version rather than the Tim Allen one. So I think I'm pretty sure I'd seen this on TV years ago, but I can't quite remember the plot. Sometimes those Christmas movies all kind of start running together after a point. But, you know, looking forward to seeing it again because I do love a Christmas movie. Here is Breakfast at Tiffany's. This is another one that I just had never picked up for myself. Like, I used to get, you know, was always at the library, and so it was easy to take out there, but I haven't been, you know, getting into the library very much in the last little bit, so I'm happy to have this. The case, I just realized, is also, like, really nice cardboard. Some of the ones now aren't quite as nice. And here is West Side Story. This is another one that I have not seen probably since early high school. I don't know if it was one of those ones that was edited really badly in the TV ones I saw or what. I just had kind of never been able to get into it. I love the music from it, but I just never been able to get into the actual movie itself. So this was another one I'd really wanted to revisit because of that. I also think that some of what I have found for TV shows that I wasn't, and movies that like everybody loved that I wasn't as keen on, was that sometimes the editing for syndication or for Canadian TV, because sometimes we had different amounts of, you know, space in the commercials. Sometimes we were a couple minutes shorter. Just because of the time overlap. So sometimes the reason I didn't like some stuff is because it didn't, you know, had stuff taken out and didn't quite make, or like the ending was cut off consistently or whatever. And I realized afterwards, like, oh, I didn't like it because it didn't make sense, not because it was actually like a crap thing everybody else loved. So that's, I'm wondering if the one I used to watch all the time as a kid was like a weird edit, or always I, you know, came into half an hour late or something. Anyway, I'm looking forward to revisiting because I do like the music. And here we have Fight Club. I saw it when it came out because I had a friend who loved Fight Club and insisted I watch it, but haven't really seen it since then. You know, again, some of these, I think it'll be interesting to watch with an eye of a somewhat older person now. Howard's End, this is one I really liked. I remember watching it when I was in high school, and again, like, I've taken this one out of the library like over and over the years, and I really do enjoy it. The Merchant Ivory ones I feel like sometimes can be a bit, you know, somewhat pretentious sometimes and a bit of an acquired taste, but when you're in the right mood for a Merchant Ivory production, there is nothing better than having a Merchant Ivory production to watch. So I like a lot of those kind of classic period dramas that way. And here we have Chasing Amy. This one I swear got shown like once a month on one of the Canadian stations out this way. So like in high school, so I watched this a lot, like, and for some reason this was one of those movies that like whenever it was on, no matter where I came in at it on, I'd always sit down and watch, you know, half an hour, or whatever was left of it. Here we have Hugo, recent Martin Scorsese one, set in kind of the silent film era. I really liked that one. It's a beautiful, beautiful aesthetic through that movie. Here is Ghostbusters. This is another one that we watched a lot as a kid. My brother had like the Ghostbusters bedding, and we have, you know, we had glasses that came, I think they were from the gas station or something like this, that were Ghostbusters. And actually I still, you know, regularly have my milk in the Slimer mug, or not the mug, the Slimer glass, which has started to, you know, show signs of wear over the years, but it's a really nice glass, especially for a free one. Here is a Blu-ray of Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell in Overboard. It's another like fun comedy, and going from fun comedy to the decided opposite is Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket. Again, I think I've seen that one, but I'm not sure if that's one that somehow like just slipped through kind of, you know, what I'd seen at that point. And Funny Face. And here we have The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Here is Inglourious Basterds. And here we have Oliver's Travels, which is a British mystery romance series. I'm not sure how many episodes there are, but it looks really interesting and kind of right up my street. And here we have season 2 of My Uncle Silas, and this was Albert Finney, and I'm not sure who else is in it, but that I know Albert Finney is in it, and yeah, this came highly recommended from the person that sent it to me. And again, I think this is one that I actually used to conflate with another DVD or another series. So I don't think I ever ended up watching this one because I thought I'd seen it. I think it was like Good Night Uncle or My Uncle Tom, or I don't know. I was mixing it up with some other series, kind of British series that had a similar kind of cover art and the such. So anyway, I'm glad to have it and to be able to watch it because it sounds great. Here is the Naked Gun movies, and this is Leslie Nielsen. I can't remember when this one was made, somewhere in the 80s, mid to late 80s, I think. But again, kind of a fun spoof movie if you've never seen them. And here we go. I think this is the last one, but I'll double check after. And this is Driving Miss Daisy. I really can't thank the person who sent me all this enough. It's just, you know, it was such a big box. I couldn't believe it when it actually arrived. I was like, oh no, that's really a lot of movies. But I'm going to enjoy watching them all. And yeah, so that's, I don't know how to end this today for some reason. I'm in a rambly mood, but with not a lot to say. So I'll cut this soon so I'm not, you know, continuing to babble as I'm doing right now. Please let me know what you think I should watch first from that group, or what I should watch next from it. You know, there's a lot of good stuff to choose from. And yeah, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a like, and I'm going to be trying to post a video at least once a week for the next little bit, but we'll have to see how it goes. I'm, you know, just getting back in the swing of stuff, and, you know, my health is still my top priority for all of this. So, like I said, don't forget to leave that comment and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon, hopefully. Bye.